I've been training for about 6 years now, and in this video, I'll break down how I passed the Topstep challenge and how you can too. Let's get straight into it. So one of my biggest struggles when it came to funded trading was trying to treat the money like it was real, and that's kind of where all my resets came from and stuff in the past. Last I traded was in 2022. I kept on buying like 150K accounts on Topstep. I kept on having to reset. I hit the first goal and I have to reset in the second step. And it was just kind of been like a month-long cycle of me paying for resets, and I just kept on losing money. And the biggest thing for me is I just don't really like paper counts, and I have a hard time treating the money like it was real. So when I tried again the second time around, most recently, the biggest thing for me to focus on was trying to treat this like a real actual account and focusing on those steps in the process and not focusing on the whole like prop firm aspect of this thing. And that's one thing I still don't really like about these prop firms and funded accounts, because they tell you like it's a funded account, like you're actually getting access to $50,000 or like 150 whatever guys accounts you guys are paying for. And most of the money you guys are getting paid out, because it's a paper account, it's just coming from resets of other traders. So the whole business model is still kind of sketchy, and I don't really like that whole aspect of it, but I decided to give it a try because why not? Another avenue for me to make money potentially, but I'll talk about that more as we get into the video. So going back in December most recently, my guy Tyler, who runs option drops with me, he was kind of getting back in this whole funded trading thing, telling me about how he's making profits and pulling out money from his accounts. So obviously if Tyler's pulling out his profits from his accounts and he's getting money to his bank account, if he's doing it, it looks legit. I figure why not give it a try. Worst case scenario, I lose like $150 on some resets, but here we are. Finally passed the challenges. Now we're getting paid out officially through Topstep. So let's talk about it. So one of the first things I did to finally be able to pass the challenges, it kind of changed my mindset. Like I mentioned in the last part of the video, my mindset was obviously the biggest issue, and I was having a hard time trading these prop firm accounts like it was a real account and like my own money, because I figured at the end of the day, if I blow up one of these accounts after reset, I'm only losing $50. But then when these $50 turn into like 6 or 7 resets, and that's $400, it just kind of, it's not too fun having to pay $400, $500 in resets, and just having to keep on doing the same thing over and over and not really losing it. And that's also one negative I think about these prop firm accounts. I think they inherently enable bad behavior, because you guys can ultimately just reset your account for $50 and there's really no consequences. But for example, if you guys have like a $1,000 account on Robinhood, you guys like lose $500, that's $500 of real money you guys have to actively go out and work for and try to make it back to add it back to your account. But if you just have $1,000 in your bank account and you just can buy some resets, keep on trying to finally get funded, it's really a low risk scenario for you guys to take on. So that's why I get why people go through this prop firm account. But again, if you guys have your own capital and stuff like that, I think trading your own capital is a much better route to go rather than going through a third party. But again, we'll talk about that more in the video. Going back to my mindset, one of the biggest things that I changed was not trying to trade this thing every day, because that's one thing that was going on with me. Just because I was trying to get funded and trying to get payouts, I was constantly trading each and every day, taking like 10, 15 trades, even when there was no action. But this time around, when I went to my prop firm account, doing this challenge, I treated like a real account. If there's no action to trade, I'm not really seeing any trade opportunities, and I would just wait for when there was opportunity in the market and strike when the iron's hot. Obviously after the election, there was some really good action. The market was just kind of going up over time, but now, especially the last few months, the market's kind of just been chopping up and down like in the 1,000-point range. So there's been some decent volatility, but quick scalps right now on futures have been really easy to trade, and there's been lots of opportunities. But back in years past, when it was kind of getting like really tight action, 40, 50-point ranges on Q, I was getting overly aggressive, sizing up the mini contracts when I didn't need to. But now I'm just primarily focused on micros and trading like 3 or 4 micros, sizing to those when I have to, and just taking my money when I get it and treating it like a real account that I would actually trade inside of like my own capital. And the second thing I did to get funded, more quickly and more efficiently, was really just focused on identifying ranges in the stock market, like on the NASDAQ in particular, and trading those ranges just with hard stops, hard take profits, and not trying to get too aggressive, trading breakouts, because you're not really getting too many breakouts right now in the market. So obviously if the NASDAQ's trading between like 22,000 and 21,000 right now, which has been like the last 3-4 months, instead of trying to go short, at the lows at 21K, I've just been looking for buying opportunities down in those regions. If you get a bounce from that region, cool. If not, I get stopped out for a small little like $150 loss. And same thing like today on NASDAQ. I'm recording this video February 7th on Friday, and today on the NASDAQ, I'll post a picture of the chart. We've been getting stuck at this $22,000 region for like the last 3 months now. So obviously, instead of looking for longs up here because you're not getting breakouts in the market, I look for a short opportunity at 22K. Then once you got that short opportunity, I was easily able to make $700 just on 3 micros, which is a pretty solid trade in my opinion, because micros are a tenth of the size of a mini. Some guys get too caught on trading mini contracts, but for me, like I said, I'm really focused on micro contracts. Taking 4 or 5 of those max, and then taking profits where I need to at the bottom the ranges at support and focusing on the key levels. Years prior, when I tried this back in 2022, again, I was trying to trade breakouts on, mini contract. I was taking like 2-3 minis, and I was getting, stopped out pretty frequently because I wasn't able to identify the ranges clearly. I was oversizing, and then obviously ended up costing me a lot of money in resets because I just wasn't focused on key levels and identifying the ranges. So the biggest thing this time around is just identifying ranges and focusing on the range and not getting too greedy. If I can identify a 40-point range on NASDAQ, just trade the 40-point range for what it is. Don't get too aggressive, and just take profits at support and go short at resistance, or vice versa. Buy longs at the support level, sell resistance, and don't get greedy and just take profits when you have them, because again, obviously if you're able to withdraw this money, that's somehow profits coming from your account. I'm still not really sure how they pay you out because it's paper money, but hey, a rack's a rack, like Kodak said, you know what I mean? And the third and final change I made this time around when it came to my funded accounts is just working on scaling and taking profits where it makes sense. Again, kind of going back to identifying ranges. If I'm taking 5 micros at support, for instance, and I'm looking to trade it back to the top of the range. So obviously, if NASDAQ, again, is trading like a 40-point range, I'm taking profits on majority of my contracts at the top of the range. But in this instance, I might take like, 3 off, majority of the contract off on this trade in micros. Then if, for example, let's say the NASDAQ ever breaks out this range and keeps on running, you actually get like a good intraday move for once. Then I'm able to take those last 2 micro contracts and maybe get like extra $100 or $200 on those contracts alone, just because I was working on scaling my contract out properly and just letting them ride if there's profits. That's one thing we do with option contract a lot, obviously, just taking profits where it makes sense and leave runners. But in this instance, when it came to micros, that's one thing I was also having trouble with because I was stuck on trading minis. I was scaling in too aggressively, scaling out too aggressively, and not letting my winners work for me. So scaling my contracts properly has been one thing that's really worked for me. And that's where I'm able to make like over 50% profits on these last 2 micro contracts running. I'm taking profits where I have to on majority of the contracts, and then if there's a big breakout, I'm able to capitalize on my last 2 contracts and make profits back to the upside or downside, whichever one's working for me. And same thing when it comes to actually entering a trade. Sometimes you can't always get a precise sniper entry and bomb tick the entry or get the top tick for the short, but that's one thing for me. For example, I usually like to start with about 3 micros, going long at support or short at resistance. Let's say I'm off by like 10-15 points. I can easily add like 1 or 2 more micros back in the contract to hit my max position size of like 5 or 6 contracts. And then if I'm wrong, let's say the market keeps on dropping, I'm wrong in the trade, I can easily just stop out for a small like $60, $100 loss. Or if I'm right, obviously I'm scaled into more contracts. So obviously if I'm right and I just have to sit through a little bit more drawdown, scaling into your position initially is one thing that's been working for me really well this time around. I'm not going all in, not going all out, just scaling where it makes sense at support, at resistance for shorts. And then when I get that move I'm looking for, just taking profits as it goes in my favor. So, but one of the benefits when it comes to futures is because there's no Greeks or like data decay, stuff like that, you're really able to focus on the price action, not really too overconsumed with like data decay, your contract expiring soon. You can just really focus on the price action and trade what's in front of you. So that's one thing that's really beneficial about futures. You can scale in and out easily and not have to worry about your contracts getting killed by like data or like implied volatility or random factors you have no control over. All you have to do is focus on the price action and what's in front of you. So that's why I really enjoy futures a lot and why I've been finding success lately on Topstep and all these prop firm accounts. So hopefully you guys found this video beneficial and learned something from it. I enjoyed making it, really going over my struggles in the past and how I've been able to succeed recently. If you guys want to trade with me and Tyler, the link's in the description. Be sure to get tapped in with us. If not, be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.